Hey guys, so before this video probably starts, I want to quickly address that while watching Acerthorn's big 2 hour long video on fair use, which is bollocks, he made quite a few, he tried to make a couple arguments involving certain things that made no fucking sense and were not even close to the same thing. It's, it's insane, the fact that he would make these arguments about certain things that were going on, or that would be going on, or that have happened, and try and compare it to what he's doing on all that crap. They're not the same. They're not even close to the same. Okay? They're not. If that's the same, then my dick's a sausage roll. What? I think I should change the bio in my description on all my social medias to completely sober, but my brain is drunk. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly bring that up. I'm a fucking moron. You know, I've spoken about a few idiots who have abused the copyright system on this channel before, but I have never come across someone this fucking stupid and hypocritical. Completely oblivious to how anything fucking works, expecting people to be nice to him when he acts like a total nutjob and crybaby, and has been in more lawsuits than James Bond has women's underwear. And that person goes by the name of Acerthorn, a channel with a little over 2,000 subscribers with some pretty decent view count on his videos. One of them even has over 44,000 views. That's actually pretty amazing for a channel that small. Now, before I truly get into the crux of this video, I want to make a personal message to Acerthorn. I am aware that you have Asperger's syndrome, which is something I have myself. However, I want to quickly address that when I do these type of videos, I tend to be rather blunt about my opinions. Everything in this video is 100% fair use. It is not harassment, it is not doxing, it is not me stealing your videos, it is me addressing things and talking about them, and to do so, I need certain clips and such to help prove my points. And if you don't understand that, then maybe you should go back to school and read a book. Now let's quickly start off with the whole harassment doxing bullshit. That's literally all it is, it's bullshit. It's not harassment or bullying, and it certainly isn't doxing. These people are basically talking about you in a critical way and are giving their thoughts and opinions. Same as what I'm doing. It's not bullying or harassment. And you claiming that it's doxing, do you even know what the fucking word even means? It means making someone's private information that wasn't in the public domain public. Here's an example for you. Stating your real name and providing court documents that have you listed on them is not doxing, as it's in the public domain and is easy to access. However, let's talk about your phone number, which I'm assuming is not public, or your email. Actually, let's talk about both. If these were things that were private that someone had gotten their hands on and exposed it publicly across the internet, then that would be doxing, as it's making your private information that you hadn't made public completely available to everyone who comes across it, which they can use to cause actual harassment and bullying to you, like spamming your inbox with disgusting garbage, and even death threats, as well as texting it to you. Doxing someone's private information is something nobody finds acceptable and condemns to the furthest depths of hell itself. However, if it's something like your real-life name, which was already public knowledge to begin with, then that is different. It's the same with Belle Delphine. Her real name is Mary Belle Kirshner, which is public knowledge. All you have to do is Google Belle Delphine and it literally says what her name is and when she was born. Now, before I continue further with all of this, I do feel like it is wrong of me to not mention Acerthorn did make a video sort of apologizing on his backup channel, he explained why here, where he does address all of this.
Now, here's the thing. I am constantly on the lookout for law and relevant law that is applicable to my case. And sometimes that law does not tell me exactly what I like to hear.
Although I have no fucking clue if he's actually taking accountability or not. You can watch the video yourself and make your own conclusions there. But he did say this, which I think is worth paying attention to.
This is where it comes down to, this is where I say that that I don't even know yet who I'm issuing this apology to. I'm going to go back and look at a lot of my, previous DMCA takedowns.
Okay, never mind. He practically just said everyone else is just as responsible for what happened as he is.
I apologize for this, mistake. I feel this mistake could have been brought to my attention a lot sooner if you had, if you had actually, been a little bit more civil with me and actually used sources to back up your claims instead of just using cuss words. I am sorry to those who I have, well, actually, no, I'm not gonna apologize to anyone who I've supposedly hurt, because, frankly, you guys could have actually corrected me on this a long time ago. It's just that you instead insisting on saying that I'm wrong instead of showing me the error of my ways. Again, check the Google search. So, I'm not even sorry for all the people I've hurt, because, in my opinion, a lot of you are at least in part responsible for this yourselves.
What the fuck? So now I'm gonna address a personal issue I have, which are these two videos. This one more so. But let's go over this one first. Honestly, there's not much for me to talk about other than he doesn't seem to understand how cross-linking works or how a few other things work. But other than that, I had nothing against this video. It was fairly average for what it was, and didn't really have any overall issues with it. However, as someone who has played it start to finish, I should point out that the puzzles will get harder. However, for this video...
Ugh. Get out! Can we start the... Okay, this is finally the end. Thank fucking God. Let me get the fuck out of here. Oh, wait, no!
Your video on Black Mesa was completely disingenuous. I actually made my own video on the game, which was far more fairer than yours was. You were literally bitching and whining about being stuck in a small space, not even taking in the scenery. The level of detail that the developers put into it was absolutely breathtaking. But you didn't give a shit. You were too busy complaining about not being allowed to play the game, and then when you were able to, you kept on having problems that nobody else who's ever played this game had. Even when it came to the hazmat suit, which you completely missed here, by the way. Like, how the fuck did you even manage that? Your video on the game was so bad faith towards it. I'm still amazed you had people commenting that it was a good video when it wasn't even close. In fact, watching your video, I was literally wondering if you had played the original Half-Life game, and judging from your video on Black Mesa, I'm very much doubtful you have. Also, I think you should have used this advert you put in the video to completely skip the monorail ride and cut to when the ride had actually ended. Here's how you were like during your time playing.
Ugh. Get out! Can we start the... Okay, this is finally the end. Thank fucking God. Let me get the fuck out of here. Oh, wait, no!
Due to the high toxicity of material routinely handled in the Black Mesa compound.
This is some bullshit. I can understand needing to give me important exposition before I start the game, but none of this feels important. Is there an emergency brake on this shit? Honestly, I really don't like games that just don't tell you what to fucking do. I mean, there's a difference between spelling something out for me and giving me 0 hints. I mean, where the hell do I go to get the hazmat suit? Now, I get that Gordon Freeman would probably already know in-universe where the hazmat suits are, but I sure as hell don't.
Now here's how I was. In event of fire, use hammer to break... What the fuck? Why is there a fucking missile here?
No smoking, eating, or drinking
Jesus.
within the Black Mesa transit system.
Well, that's a bit... Well, you should have luck, love, because I've got an entirely full water bottle. You're lucky I don't have food this time. I did last time round. I was eating lunch. Literally,
In case you don't remember, when I made the video on Half-Life, it was like 12:23. It was literally lunchtime. Jesus Christ! Oh my god! Oh my god, I am in absolute awe. This game looks so amazing. Actually, what I remember... I have an issue! Caution! Laser! You don't fucking say.
As you can see, two very different experiences. Your video on Black Mesa was terrible and so disingenuous to the actual marvel of the game. Not to mention, you were so bloody impatient. You do realize that the game starts like any normal day, right? Only later does shit hit the fan. Now, if you were making a video on Half-Life before, then I could kinda give you some snack, as even I struggled with it, and it wasn't all that terrific. But Black Mesa is a fucking masterpiece, and you bitching about not being allowed to play the game or having no directions is just disingenuous and a very poor faith video on it. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go load up the rest of this video, which could take a while. So in the meantime, here's an advert for you to sit through. Alright, time to get to the main topic at hand. The DMCA abuse. As I stated earlier, Acerthorn doesn't really know what harassment or doxing even is, and I have already explained how it's not doxing if your IRL name is already in the public domain due to multiple court documents. But there is another thing that I need to go over, which is his knowledge, or lack thereof, of fair use and the videos that he struck. And it kinda looks worse when you see he made a video on it which has, as of recording, over 300 dislikes. And I think it might still be going. If you don't believe the dislike count, then take a look at your comment section. 97% of the comment section does not agree with your video. Only 3 people liked this video. And before I continue forward, if anyone wants a full, in-depth look into Acerthorn's activities, then I suggest watching Sid Alpha's video. But I don't really understand this message Acerthorn made. I will admit that I did see the clip in question, which was this.
Level. And also, regardless of what they may say openly or behind closed doors, the videos themselves must be deemed to be harassment or doxing in order to claim they're operating with unclean hands. Because that must mean that the intent of the video itself is designed to harass.
But that doesn't really help your point. And just reading this, what are you even on? First of all, showing off your channel when someone is talking about you is to kinda help give some context as to who you are, what content you make, and how big of a following you have. And in regards to that, your channel art has nothing to do with it. That is a completely irrelevant statement to make. But the big issue is this bit. What the fuck are you even on? Just take your head out of your ass and watch. These videos are videos criticizing you and your actions. Same as this video you're currently watching. But it gets stupider. As you had your audience go and mass flag and report a video that hadn't even been made yet! You were so fucking afraid of being called out that you were going so far as to strike videos that aren't even made yet talking about you. And while Sid was doing research into all of this, Acerthorn had apparently completely fucked himself in court documents which Sid did show in his video. Can't remember when or where, sorry. But Acerthorn then left this comment on Sid's video, and it basically shows how clueless he truly is. First off, Sid doesn't need to pay you for using clips of your videos to help his point. Any copyright expert will tell you that Sid's video is 100% fair use, including the use of your clips and downloading. You do know you can convert videos from YouTube into MP4s, right? Like, there are sites that do that. And they are kind of vital for these kind of videos, as you need to sift through and cut out a lot of unneeded material. I've done that dozens of times when I made videos on Einars. And other creators have done the same with others too. It's a totally normal thing and it doesn't do any harm to your channel. So this line kinda proves you don't know how any of this fucking works. Which Sid points out and just shows that this is utter stupidity at its finest. That as well as perjury in his court documents. And then this. This feels similar to Einar's doxing his own mother in one of his videos, which was by accident granted, but was still doxing, and his excuses were just comical. It has to be in the phone book for it to be doxing. No, it doesn't, you twonk. Oh, and he was fucking underage? I actually wonder if Tipster will make a video on all this. Also, make what you want out of this comment, because I cannot be bothered at this point. He certainly does not truly understand how copyright actually works. And when Acerthorn tried to make a response live stream to Sid Alpha's video, it ended up getting a copyright strike by Bibi Faizi, who I have no bloody clue who that is. But whoever it is, they clearly found something in Acerthorn's live stream which was infringing on their copyright, and they issued a strike against it. I wonder how Acerthorn likes being on the receiving end. Oh no, I wouldn't bloody like it. That's why whenever I make my videos, I make sure that not only is the music I use royalty free, these channels are good for that, as well as that when I do use screenshots of things or clips of videos to make sure that I'm only using what I truly need to get my points and arguments across. If people don't like my arguments, that's fine, that's their opinion, just these are mine. But now it's time to talk about this video. I know people want me to talk about his abuse of the system, and yes, it's fucked and wrong, and it will eventually come back to bite him on the ass if it hasn't already. But to be honest, Sid Alpha covered that far better than I ever could, as he actually watched the videos, and I haven't. Plus, as I already said, Acerthorn did make a sort of apology video about this for some people. But I'm kinda interested in this video titled, How Not to Do Fair Use, in brackets, with Sources. This video went on for 2 hours, and has been ratioed to buggery. I've not seen the entirety of it, but I think we should address some key points of this video. And we are skipping the opening where he states people are harassing and doxing him, when that is total bullshit. Well, okay, the harassing part, probably true, but not when it comes to these videos that are critical of you. Christ, this is like Suzy Lou all over again. Although this I'm gonna address.
Since these videos are copyrighted by me, that means their usage of these clips is copyright infringement.
That's not correct. I already stated why that's incorrect. They are taking clips of your video, just like what I'm doing, to help prove their points and arguments. Plain and simple. If you don't get that that's how shit works, then I'm sorry, but like, you could then make the same bullshit conclusion about every single compilation video that's out there.
I want you all to know that I know fair use. And I can prove that I know fair use because I have dealt with some of the largest corporations in the fucking world and have gotten them to back off.
Are you sure? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but your case got fucking thrown out by a judge.
When I made my Harry Potter retrospective video for Book 1, Chapter 13, I also included some discussion about the Japanese anime Dragon Ball Z. And I included some clips from that cartoon, which earned me an automatic copyright claim from Toei Animation. Well, I filed a dispute on that claim, and Toei actually withdrew the copyright claim.
Okay, let's be real here, that doesn't really prove much. I mean, they probably just got a content ID match, and they struck it, and then later on learned that it was actually fair use, and retracted the strike. I mean, shit like that has happened in the past. A similar incident happened with Bo Blacks and Van Tactician. Van Tactician used Bo Blacks' material, Bo Blacks got a content ID match and struck the video, and only after looking at the video did he see that he fucked up and that the video was fair use and retracted the strike. There are no doubt other similar cases like this happening. So I highly doubt they retracted the strike out of fear of you.
This is a clip that I made after somebody by the username Xander Rootbeer, a reference to a joke I made in my debate with Skibbity Dibbity that I also made a short video on, had uploaded a video titled Man Wolf, which was clearly just designed to harass and dox me. As you can see, this video is no longer up, But I want you to notice what it says when I actually click on the link to that video. Yeah, it was removed for violating YouTube's terms of service. It wasn't for a DMCA takedown. Oh, I was about to issue a takedown on this video. But when I went to enter the video URL in the DMCA form, YouTube just said that it couldn't find the video in question. Upon refreshing the page, I found that YouTube had already taken the video down of its own accord. Think about that for a minute. Not only did YouTube remove this content of its own accord without me even having to ask them to, but they removed it so fast that I didn't even have enough time to fill out the DMCA form.
Okay, anytime he brings up people quote-unquote harassing and doxing him, I'm just skipping for I explained earlier. This guy's so fucking clueless. But this point is an exception, as there is a very easy way of how this could have happened. As shown here, Sid Alpha made a tweet mentioning Acerthorn had called his audience to go report his video, and he has even been caught doing it in his own videos. So when you take all that into account, there is another possibility that when you take all this into consideration makes more sense. Your fans also saw the video and no doubt reported it for harassment, as you have told them to do so before. Now in this particular situation, you probably didn't tell them to go and report this video. They probably went and did it of their own volition. I refuse to believe it's because you have friends in high places, considering that you got this claim on your video which I have not seen removed. I also doubt this Twitch thing you're on about had any doxing if it's going over public information like court documents. But as for the Reddit thing, I think at the very least they were just saying rude and downright disgusting things about you that took it way too far and did break Reddit's TOS. Hell, I go as far as to even agree with you that there was possible harassment. If you happen to have a Reddit account, that is, and they bombarded you with crap, and of course they decided to cut to an advert. You seem to do that in every video. You know what? I think I'll do the same.
I can't believe how easy that was. With all these new powerful cards. No one is going to be able to stop me.
Hold her right there.
Now, I just want to say this. This particular portion of the DMCA is absolutely fine. I know a lot of people have a lot of complaints, some more valid than others, about how unfair and unbalanced the DMCA is against independent content creators, but this is not one of them. If you are posting on an American site, then you should be subject to American law. That much is 100% fair.
Okay, gonna quickly say that that's not overly true, as even if the site is based in America, America doesn't have the authority to drag you from, say, England to attend court there, as the UK is well outside of their jurisdiction. I currently live in New Zealand. If you were to strike this video and I were to send a counter notification, the US would not have the authority to bring me to their court, and New Zealand is also outside of their jurisdiction. Plus, because it would be an overseas lawsuit, it would cost more money than it would suing someone in the same country as you, as all you'd have to do is drive out to the state that person lives in. I'll give Acerthorn credit though, he's actually gone and done some pretty good research and preparation for this video, and I seriously have to give him credit for it, even if some of what he's saying is wrong or inaccurate.
For reasons I prefer not to get into right now, we had a falling out and we decided not to do the stream, causing me to make this video as a solo video. However, before that happened, she pointed out the American case of Hughes versus Benjamin, stating that this case would cause her to prevail if she ever filed a DMCA counter-notification. However, that case was heard in New York because the defendant was a US citizen who lived in New York, not because the host website was headquartered there. This means that the case of Hughes versus Benjamin used case law from the Second Circuit to reach its decision, which is completely and utterly irrelevant to a case being heard in California.
I don't think that's what she was talking about. And did you even read that case?
According to the Ninth Circuit case of Hustler Magazine versus Moral Majority, the only things I have to prove for copyright infringement are ownership of the copyright by the plaintiff, that's me, and copying by the defendant, that's you.
Okay, this bit kind of makes me scratch my head as to how obvious that is and how I don't think he really gets it. And as such, I'm not addressing it, as I don't want to have to go to hospital due to brain loss. And I also think someone should actually tell this guy to maybe read the 4 fucking factors of fair use first. Actually, John Swan, you might help me out with that?
Let's start off with factor 1, the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. Now, although no factor is independently determinative, the heart of fair use inquiry is the first factor, whether the use is transformative by adding something new with a further purpose or different character. The central purpose of this investigation is to see whether the new work merely supersedes the objects of the original creation, or instead adds something new, altering the first with new expression, meaning, or image. A use is transformative if it does something more than repackage or republish the original work. The second factor, the nature of the copyrighted work, is rarely found to be determinative, so we can pretty much ignore this factor entirely. Let's move on to the third factor, the amount and sustainability of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. This requires courts to consider not only the quantity of the material used, but also their quality and importance. Let's move on to the fourth factor, the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. This is a point that people often misinterpret, so let me explain. The fourth factor focuses on whether the secondary use usurps demand for the protected work by serving as a market substitute, not merely whether the market for the allegedly infringed work was harmed. Critical parodies may legitimately aim at harming the market for a copyrighted work, and a lethal parody like a scathing theatre review kills demand for the original, but does not produce a harm cognizable under the Copyright Act. If the secondary work harms the market for the original through criticism or parody, rather than by offering a market substitute for the original that supersedes it, it does not produce a harm cognizable under the Copyright Act. If the allegedly infringing work is not considered a market substitute for the allegedly infringed work, the fourth factor weighs in the favor of the defendant.
Thanks, mate.
Go and actually read the case of Lens versus Universal. It very clearly states that I am only required to consider fair use in order to be able to issue the DMCA takedown without breaking the law.
Which you've not done, so you are breaking the law. Idiot. Also, I have a legit question. Why the fuck do you keep going to these fucking cases? There are millions of fair use cases out there, and despite people giving him shit, John Swan could still very easily debunk basically everything you were saying about these videos not being fair use. Like, fuck California, it doesn't fucking matter. It could be West fucking Wisconsin for all I care.
Of course, this 4 factors test is honestly incomplete in itself. Despite a common misconception, there are actually 5 factors when it comes to fair use. There is an unofficial 5th factor to fair use.
Wait, there's a 5th factor which is unofficial? The fuck?
I think we can safely take all of those off the table right off the bat. Surely none of you seriously contend that these sub-factors are applicable, right? I certainly hope so. We can also take news reporting off the table. Your channels are not news channels. You guys are not news anchors or journalists. This is not relevant here.
Really? How about the Tipster and Drama Alert? And basically any fucking commentary channel. Especially Drama Alert, which is a news channel, so yeah. Also, read this.
While this might be controversial, I believe we should also cross out the subfactor of being miscellaneous transformative. Because as you can see from the parentheses, to qualify for this subfactor you have to appropriate the material for a new utility. None of you have done that. You are making a YouTube video out of a YouTube video. You weren't taking portions of my videos and using them to, for example, create a vision test for optometrists to use to test patients' eyesight. So that subfactor can also go.
Wait, what? Yeah, that is fucking controversial, as every single one of these videos are transformative, you nut baron.
If all you've got is the transformative factor in your favor, then it's a derivative work, which is not fair use, so you need permission from the rights holder to make the adaptation.
Again, no you fucking don't. Because of how the clip is being used, it's quite clearly transformative. Even in this video, I'm using clips of your video and addressing certain parts of it. I even did this in my Vegan Wars video as well as my last Iron Eyes video.
There are ways to make money off of a YouTube channel that don't require you to be in the YouTube Partner Program. Remember that the defendant always holds the burden of proof in a fair use case, and this is one of the few absolutes when it comes to fair use.
If they have so little subscribers, then they are not really making money off it, which the courts will see, by the way, and will rule more in favor of them. I may have over 1,000 subscribers, but I still don't make money off my videos. Okay, you know what? His video is over 2 hours long, and I'm not responding to fucking everything I have issues with. I'll watch the rest of it, solo, and come back to you. What the hell is this fifth factor he's mentioned?
Of course, a while ago in this video, I did say there was an unofficial fifth factor when it comes to fair use. Well, let's talk about that fifth factor, shall we? This isn't something you are required to do in fair use, but if you don't do it, you are highly unlikely to pass any of the other 4 official factors of fair use. And that unofficial fifth factor is effort.
I'm gonna go jump into Rangi Toto. It's a dormant volcano, if you didn't know. Effort is not a fucking singular factor of fair use, numbskull. That's practically all the factors. This is an example of no effort. Yeah, now she's reacting to Pokemon. This is an example of serious effort.
Let me get this straight. You lived in a nice place, some rocks fell from the sky, the place wasn't so nice anymore, so now you're using those rocks to kill everybody.
Yeah, well, you're skimming on the details a little bit, but yeah, the furry stuff was vast and deep and darker than you know, but yeah, that's about the sum of it.
Remember in Infinity War when you realized that maybe what Thanos was doing kinda made sense? Yeah, this is the exact opposite of that.
Hell, my Robotic Warriors series is another great example of effort. It's not a singular factor, that's just how you actually make a video. Also, don't ever go at us about effort when you couldn't even be fucked to properly play Black Mesa and actually pay the fuck attention to anything.
No smoke.
Yeah, sorry, that video just irks me.
Skibbity Dibbity, who I did my latest live stream debate with, is not a co-author just because he appears as a guest in the video. Think about it. If that were true, then anybody who appears as a contestant on a game show, anybody who calls their radio station from their car to say something on air, anybody who gets stopped by a news anchor on the street to be interviewed, would all be considered co-authors for the broadcasts they are participating in.
John's want to address this in a Tonka stream. If you happen to be recording the event on your end, then you own that very recording and can do literally whatever the fuck you want with it. So in the case of Skibbity Dibbity, WTF on the name by the way, if Skibbity recorded the debate on their end, then they own that piece of recording and can upload it to their channel as it's their recording. You have no control or say over that. I can make an appearance on Vegan Gaze's livestream debate and do a debate with her and record it all on my end and then distribute it as I please as it's my recording. Plain and fucking simple.
I am the one solely responsible for creating the TME for that debate, which makes me the sole copyright owner. Of course, even if I were wrong about that, and Skibbity had recorded the discussion on his end, that wouldn't make him a co-author. You know why? because his recording never made it into the stream.
This guy for real? If he was recording the exact same thing you were, which was the debate, then he very much is a co-author. When me and my friends made the first Clusterfuck collaboration video, which premiered on my channel and has also been uploaded to the Clusterfuck podcast channel, Robonite actually recorded his own video of the collab at the exact same time I was. That makes him a co-author of said video. How the fuck do you not get that? I'm not gonna lie, watching your video gave me a headache. I just cannot compute the levels of fucking stupidity that I have just had to endure. I thought Einars was a fucking moron, but this guy takes the cake. Talking about public information is not doxing, period, so shut the fuck up there for a start, dimwit. Also, you have been the plaintiff of tons of court cases, including one against your own father, and every one of them got thrown out by the judge. These people making videos on you are not doing this to harass. They're doing it to bring light to your bullshit or to talk about you and give their own thoughts. Not to say that you haven't received legitimate harassment from people via email and the like, which I and many others would wholeheartedly condemn in a heartbeat, but the videos made about you are not that. And again, looking at the comments of your video, you have more people disagreeing with you than you do people who are actually on your side. Also, something else to bring up, which is you are a fucking hypocrite. You took a clip of Ian Corzine's video and completely re-uploaded it to your own fucking channel. So you cannot bitch about us re-uploading your video footage when that is literally what you fucking did yourself. There was nothing fair use about that video. And you also can't tell us to ask for permission when you fucking didn't either. Like, you come off as the biggest hypocrite ever, and your video on all this was so condescending. I actually made this video somewhat apologizing and admitting to retracting a bunch of strikes you had made. And by the way, some of these creators you struck were small creators. One of them only had 17 subs. You have over 2,000. This literally makes you come off as a giant bully. I don't give a fuck about what excuse you're about to come up with. You're a bully. And all these commentary videos calling you out for your bullshit and you then striking them also shows that you have extremely thin skin, which isn't a good sign, as you seriously need to have thick skin to be a really good content creator, whether it's YouTube or Twitch or whatever. You need to be able to take criticism, otherwise if you end up responding like this, it's gonna cause you even more flack, which will result in more people talking about you to the point where it could all come back to bite you on the ass. Now, if Acerthorn decides to go through my channel to when I was dealing with Einars and have a bitch at me for also bullying, first off, that's not bullying. In fact, he was very much the bully as proven time and time again. And second of all, I had been dealing with him before I even had 100 subscribers, which he started. That's not bullying, by any means. And he's since deleted his channel for the stupidest reason I have ever heard of in my entire life, and has since made a whole new channel where he's been leaving us alone and been doing his own thing, where there are still issues contained within. If anyone truly wants to look further into all of this, then I highly recommend watching Sid Alpha's video, which was a very good one, as he spoke more about the channels Acerthorn went after, and had even seen the videos and agreed that they did qualify for fair use. To defend Acerthorn, however, this guy might have been justified. But again, they only had 17 subscribers. At the very least, you should have just reached out to this person and politely asked if they could remove the video and try to talk with them as to what they were after or actually intending. However, in the case of Artemis Wolf, honestly not surprised you got the response. You don't issue a DMCA and then reach out to try and act civil. You did that in the completely wrong order. I'm not going to completely shit on Acerthorn and his channel entirely, as to be completely honest, it's actually kind of more successful than mine is in terms of views. And yeah, okay, subscribers. Then again, I have a day job doing 50 hours a week, and then I do YouTube in my off time, so that's another reason as to why. He has more time to work on his channel than I do, and since I've been doing these type of videos, I've been watching videos to try and get a basic understanding, then I write a script, record it with a few fuck-ups, which I edit out, and then edit everything all together, which for a video like this can take at best a week. But his videos are pretty successful, even if they are completely bullshit. But with all that said, I think I'm done here. I have a very strong feeling he'll find this video and have a pop at me and even go as far as to issue another false DMCA takedown. But I want to make it abundantly clear I don't want people harassing, bullying, doxing, or even dogpiling on this guy. To be fair, he has gotten a lot of serious BS sent his way, which, even if somewhat deserved, still doesn't make it right. If he is going to act like a sourpuss and a child, that does not give any of us the right to stoop to his level. Otherwise, we're no better. But as I said, I think I'm done here. I hope everyone did enjoy this video and my thoughts on the situation, and I also wish everyone a great day. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time.